Hi my beautiful Elysians, welcome back to my channel and my new series, Stories and Games. So every week I'm going to be playing Call of Duty and telling true inspirational and educational stories to inspire you and encourage you to succeed and maybe restore your faith in humanity again. I know I need that. So let's get right into the story. So today's story is about Mauro Prosperi, an Italian police officer who drank his own urine and bad blood to survive after he got lost in the desert. So let's get right into the story, guys. So the story took place in 1994. Mauro Prosperi was 39 years old at the time, and he was a police officer and a retired marathon runner. He was happily married and has 3 children. He loved running extreme marathons and being close to nature. His marathons took place in beautiful areas such as mountains, glaciers, and deserts. But as he said, he wasn't able to enjoy his surroundings because he was so focused in winning medals. As I mentioned before, he retired from pentathlon. If you don't know what pentathlon is, it's a contest featuring 5 events: fencing, shooting, riding, swimming, and cross-country running. So when his good friend told him about this amazing marathon called Marathon des Sables in the desert, he started training immediately, running 25 miles a day. He also had to drink less than he normally would so he could get used to dehydration. So he was never home. That must have been really hard for his family. But this is a great story for young people to hear because, you know, determination, resilience, commitment are some of the things that you need to succeed. So this is great for young people. But anyway, his wife Cynthia thought he was crazy. She was extremely worried. I mean, I don't blame her. I mean, alone with 3 kids and not knowing if your husband is gonna come back or not. I mean, that's sad. Let's continue the story. Anyway, she wasn't happy that he wasn't home when she needed him, but she tried to support him and his dreams. The race was so risky that you had to sign a form to say where you want to be buried or where you want your body to be sent in case you die. So I'm going to tell the rest of the story in the present form to make it more exciting for you guys. So he arrives in Morocco. He discovers this beautiful thing, the desert. It's magical. He's very happy. Just so you can get an idea about this marathon, these days the Marathon des Sables is different than how it was in 1994. They had up to 1,300 participants, so it was like a giant snake. You can't get lost even if you tried. But in 1994 there were only 80 of them, and very few were actually running. Most of the time Mauro was alone. So back to the story, he's always the first to reach the next stage, so he would put a flag. He puts a flag on his tent so they can all get together in the evenings. Now, this is the 4th day, I believe. Things start to go wrong. This is the longest and most difficult stage of the race. In the morning, they start running again. Imagine walking or running through a sandstorm. Just imagine it in your head. That's scary and painful. He was so brave. All the sand hits your face like sharp needles and you can't breathe. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you... I know I lived in Arizona and I witnessed my first sandstorm when I was in Arizona for a few months, and I saw like the fog, everything got really dark and orange, and there was, you know, storm wind, you know, it was very, very windy, and if you go out you will have big problem. You will probably faint or something or even die. So anyway, that's what was happening to him. He turns his back on the wind, wraps a scarf around his neck, around his face to stop the sand from hitting him and hurting him. He was okay, but he had to keep walking, had to keep moving forwards, otherwise he will be buried. The sand will bury him for sure. So he's exhausted now. He sits down and in a sheltered spot waiting for the storm to end. It lasted 8 hours, guys. 8 hours. What? You are outside for 8 hours being hit by sharp needles. Yes. So when the wind died down, it was dark. So he's sleeping in the dunes. He is very upset, obviously, because before the storm he was 4th place. So he thought that he can't win now, but he can still make it to the end. You have 36 hours to run that stage of the race, or you will be disqualified. So he had time, or that's what he thought. So he wakes up very early. Everything around him changed due to the storm. It's a totally transformed landscape. If you don't know what sand dunes are, I'm going to put a picture right here. He is all alone, and all the pacemakers went ahead of him. He didn't even know he was lost. He had a compass and a map, so he thought he could find his way. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult and complicated for him. Now he's thinking that if he continues running, he will meet someone. There might be others in the same situation as him. He's hoping he would meet someone so they can finish together. Unfortunately, this plan didn't work out for him. He runs for 4 hours and then he climbs a dune. He still can't see anything, so he realizes that he's in trouble. He starts to walk. What was the point of running anyway? He realizes he's lost. And so now this is the gross part. He urinates in his spare water bottle. Yeah, apparently when you're well dehydrated and your pee is clear, it's drinkable. Not really, no. Don't ever drink your pee unless you have high-tech filtration, guys. It doesn't matter if it's clear. Drinking pee can spread bacteria and toxins into your bloodstream and damage your kidneys, so it's not recommended. It's no different than seawater, as you know, the urine contains 95% water, sodium, chloride, and urea. So it's going to dehydrate you even more. That will result in low blood pressure, kidney and lung or heart failure. Anyway, he has a knife, compass, a sleeping bag, and plenty of dehydrated food in his backpack, so he was okay. Water was the problem, so he ran out of water. A few days went by. He was careful to walk when it was cool every morning and evening. He's wearing 2 hats now to keep the temperature constant. So now it is sunset. He hears the sound of a helicopter going towards him. He takes out his flare and shoots it in the air. Pilot is flying really low, but doesn't see him. He flies right past him. The flares at the time, they were very, very small. They were really small, bigger than a pen, and so they weren't very useful. Because of his experience, in 1995, they made bigger ones that weighed 1 pound, so the runners weren't happy. He's trying to remain calm, thinking that someone will eventually find him. After a few days, he finds a mirabout, and I'm going to post a picture right now if you don't know what it is. It's a Muslim shrine where Bedouins stop when they're crossing the desert. So now he's hoping there's someone in there, so he goes in and all he finds is a man in a coffin. So he's tired, and so he decides to crash there. At least he has a roof over his head now. He cooks some of his food with his urine. Yes. The mirabout fills up with sand because there were multiple sandstorms now, so the ceiling is very low. He goes up to the roof to plant his Italian flag, hoping someone will see it. And he sees some bats there in the tower. He grabs them and cuts their heads. Now this is the most disgusting part, but bear with me. Mush their insides with a knife, I'm gonna get sick, and then sucks them out. Oh my god, like a vampire. Yeah. So yes, he's drinking their blood like a vampire. He ate at least 20 of them raw. Wow, that's gonna make you sick. You will get diarrhea. I don't know, your organs are gonna shut down. You don't know if those bats have diseases or what. Very, very dangerous. So, but what do you have to do? You know, he has to do those things to survive. He has to persevere. He is not giving up. So he stays in the mirabout for a few days, waiting to be found. He almost gave up twice. An airplane went past him and didn't see him either. So he thought he was going to die painfully anyway, So he slits both his wrists, guys. Oh my god, this guy is so lucky to be alive. He slits both wrists and waits until he bleeds to death. He said that in Italy, if someone goes missing, family has to wait 10 years before they can be declared dead. And he wanted his wife to get the pension. The good thing is that his blood now thickened. Now it's very thick and it won't drain. So lucky you, Moro. Amazing. So the next morning he wakes up. He took that as a sign and regained his confidence. Go Moro. He decided to see it as a competition now. Now he's encouraging himself that, you know, he needs to survive. He needs to do this for his family. In order, Moro, the athlete, is back. He's thinking of a plan. He has a lot of energy now to use up. He has some energy tablets, so he's good. He trained well for this. He starts walking again and heading to the clouds. So he walks in the desert for days, killing snakes and lizards and eating them raw. He also drinks their blood. That's his inner caveman emerging, as he said. He notices that he's losing a lot of weight, and he was so dehydrated. He kept taking anti-diarrhea medicine. Of course, you're gonna take that. You're just eating raw animals. You're having diarrhea, and you know diarrhea can dehydrate you even more. So here's a little bit of a little information for you guys. If you are in the desert without water, you will only last for 3 days. 3 days without water in the desert. But at sea, you can survive up to 7 days. What? Not a huge difference. You want to survive. Survivors at sea drank turtle's blood to survive because it's easy to digest and it conserves body water. So that's good. So as he's walking through the desert, he thinks about his family, his friends, and how much he misses them. I mean, of course, you've been there for days, lost. But they gave him the confidence and perseverance to keep going. And he was concentrating on that. He was still concentrating on moving forward. So now the organizers are looking for him. Brother and brother-in-law flew all the way from Italy to Morocco to find him. On their way to the desert, they find traces left behind, like shoelaces. Very smart, Moro, for leaving traces. Very smart. That's what you guys have to do if you're lost. Leave traces everywhere. So they go to the mirabout and find signs that he was there. So this is the 8th day. 8. Moro finds a little oasis. Ooh, we're getting close. He lies down and drinks for 7 hours. Oh my God. Of course, I'm not surprised. He was so dehydrated. Okay, so he sees footprint in the sand. So he knew he was close, finally. The next day, he sees some goats. It gives him hope. Then he sees a shepherd girl. She ran away. When she saw him, she sees him and she runs away scared. Or so he thought. It's been 9 days, guys. 9 days. Now the girl runs toward a large Berber tent to warn the women he was coming. They are so nice. They care of him outside on the carpet. So they gave him water. They sent someone to call the police. The police comes and carries him to the jeep, blindfolded with guns pointed at him. You know, they thought he was dangerous. He thought he was like a dangerous spy or something. You know who he is, obviously. So he was afraid that that they were going to kill him. So they somehow find out that he is the marathon runner who got lost in Morocco. So they took his blindfold and celebrated. He discovered that he's actually in Algeria. So he is in Algeria right now. And he is 181 miles off course. So they take him to the hospital. And after 10 days, he was able to call his wife. He lost 35 pounds. Wow, poor guy. His eyes were bad and liver was damaged. More days he would have died for sure. He was so lucky. Wow. So, but his kidneys were fine. He couldn't eat anything other than soups and liquids for months. It took him 2 years to recover, but he made it. He gave up once, but in the end he fought hard and never gave up. Although he didn't win, I believe he reached his goal. At least he did something and he never gave up. So 4 years after recovering, now you're gonna be shocked about this. He was back at the Marathon des Sables because he wanted to finish what he started. He is that kind of person. He is so determined. Those are successful people, guys. Those are the successful people. When you have this mindset and you want something, you fight hard to do it, to get it, to achieve it, and to succeed. And he loved being in the desert. I don't know anyone who likes being in the desert, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who do. Not me. I cannot handle the heat, guys. But anyway, every year he goes to the desert. He ran 8 desert marathons, and now he's preparing for the biggest one. He called his wife a saint. Yeah, but you know, they decided to split up and remain friends. Now they are really good friends, more than ever now. They are like best friends. So I mean, of course I would have left him too, you know. I don't want to, if I love someone and they're not home and I have to worry about them every day, I don't want to be with that kind of person. I mean I love them because they are determined, they are successful, they are smart, and they want to go after their dreams, their goals. I'm not going to stop them at all. But if I love someone too much, so much that I have to worry every day, I cannot be with that someone. I cannot be with them, you know. I would rather remain friends with them and not have to worry and not be a prisoner, you know. So now he has a new partner, and she knows that he's on a mission and he won't change. Yeah, stubborn man. I've I've known stubborn men before. When a stubborn man wants something, he will get it, and there's nothing that can stop him. He will never change. So stop trying to change them, guys. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this inspired you to continue following your dreams. I want you to know that playing video games or whatever shouldn't stop you from learning. So this is what I'm doing here. You can play video games and learn at the same time, but there's a balance, you know. You have to like make a schedule. There's time for learning and there's time for playing. So this is the message I want you. I want you to be inspired, honestly. I know this is a really bad year, and I hope 2021 will be better for you. I hope you had an amazing Christmas, and I will see you in my next video. I have a lot more inspirational stories, better stories that will blow your mind. Okay, I can't wait. See you next time. Bye.